Hey guys, welcome back to Carib 21, wherever in the Caribbean or in the diaspora you're watching from. So in today's video, I want to talk about what the experts, the travel experts, are calling the biggest boycott in Canadian history, because Canadians are refusing to go to America. Instead, they're going to the Caribbean. Let's talk about it. Okay, so since January 2020, when Donald Trump decided to take on Canada and Mexico with this ridiculous trade war, we saw Canadians refusing to go to America. And now, in the midst of the tourism season, this is like the busiest travel time of the year, and we're seeing the numbers come in now. The numbers are getting more and more every month, and the latest numbers, they're showing that up to 40% of Canadians are not going to America. And this is a bit of a good news for the Caribbean, because a lot of the flights have been rerouted to places like Mexico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica, Bahamas, Barbados. So the Caribbean is benefiting from Canadians that are refusing to go to the United States of America.
Yeah, exactly. And some Canadian airlines are starting to shift their focus to Mexico and the Caribbean. That's where the airlines say that Canadians are starting to vacation instead of right here in the United States. And they've noticed that in the past few months. Now, the U.S. Travel Association says that Nevada and Florida rank among the most popular destinations for Canadian travelers. But starting this month, Air Canada is dialing back service to those states as well as to Arizona. In the latest investors meeting, Air Canada said that it was adding more routes to Canadian leisure destinations instead. Other American airlines, or Canadian airlines rather, like Porter, have stopped advertising some American destinations entirely. A Porter spokesperson says in a statement, quote, "We are mindful of the overall sentiment of travelers, and it's because of this that we've decided to adjust our marketing and emphasize Canadian destinations for the time being," end quote. And according to the Travel Association, Canadians visit America more than travelers from any other country, with 20.4 million visits just last year. And the association says that Canadians spent $20.5 billion in the U.S. last year, supporting 140,000 American jobs. So even a small decline in revenue could have major impacts on Americans. Now, Flight Center, a travel agency with an office in Toronto, says that Canadians are in the middle of one of the busiest travel periods of the year.
Okay, so that was a report coming from Fox News. And just to give you an idea how crazy this boycott is, how serious Canadians are taking this. March break. March break is a big deal in North America. Canadians travel a lot for March break. Americans travel a lot for March break. And in 2024, over 2 million people travel by a vehicle across the US-Canada border. So that is Canadians jumping in their cars and driving across the multiple borders that Canada and America share. This year, 2025, we have seen a 39% decline in travel by vehicle going across the borders. That means Canadians are no longer driving to places like Buffalo, driving to Detroit. Canadians decide that they are going to stay home or they are going to go to the Caribbean. So that is to show you how serious this boycott is. And as I said, this is the biggest travel boycott in Canadian history. And Canada and America have shared a relationship for over 200 years. The last time there was any dispute between Canada and America was the War of 1812, when the Canadians and the British went and they burned down the White House. That was the last time. But over 200 years, we have had this amazing relationship, and now this is what's happening because of Donald Trump's tariff. Here at Carib 21, I'm on a mission to showcase the vibrant culture and the breathtaking beauty of the Caribbean while showcasing our culture and what is trending. If you want to support me on this mission, please subscribe. And if you also want to support, you can hit the comment section and buy me a cup of coffee. In order to buy me a cup of coffee, you can follow these instructions. Just click more. You will see the link to buy me a cup of coffee. Click the link. You can purchase 1 or 2 cups of coffee, and you'll be helping me to fulfill this mission. Thank you. And you can tell how serious this is and the impact that it's having on the American economy when you have mayors and governors of some of the biggest states in America begging and pleading, please come and visit us.
We want to make sure we send a message to our Canadian friends up north to come to a state where 2 million Canadians visited last year, to come visit a state where there's something for everybody. Visit California.
Okay, so that was California Governor Gavin Newsom, and California is not even close to Canada anywhere. And this is just one of numerous videos that you will find of, governors and mayors like appealing to the Canadian people to come. And I live very close. I live close to Buffalo, New York. I also am about 5 hours away from Detroit. And when a lot of us go to Buffalo, primarily to shop, you go to Buffalo and you go to the mall. And when you go into the mall and you park your car, literally, you're seeing way more Canadian license plate than American license plate. And in recent times, if you go to Buffalo and you go to the mall, the parking lot is empty, literally empty, because Canadians are refusing to go and shop. Canadians are refusing to go and to spend a day or two in New York. And the same thing with Michigan. So Canadians are taking this very serious, this whole boycott because of Donald Trump's trade war. And I'm sure a lot of the media houses, a lot of the podcasters that are conservative podcasters, you are not going to see this information from them. They are not going to tell you that America stands to lose over $20 billion this year just from Canadians. Over $20 billion. You are not going to hear that on certain platforms. So this is what is happening between Canada and America in terms of this boycott. And the Caribbean is benefiting a great deal from this boycott. And from the numbers that are coming in so far, Mexico is the biggest winner in terms of benefiting from this. A lot of Canadians travel to Mexico for spring break, but this year it's on a different level. And we know that Cuba is also benefiting, as I said, Jamaica, Barbados, Bahamas. And it's going to be interesting to see the numbers coming out, the next few months as to how many Canadians, because last year I did an interview with the Jamaican Tourist Board, a member of the Jamaican Tourist Board here in Canada. And Canada was number 2 in terms of visitors going to Jamaica. For a long time, it was the UK. It was America number 1, UK number 2, Canada number 3. But last year, I spoke to someone from the tourism board, and they say Canada took over the number 2 spot. And Canada, a lot of Canadians are going to Jamaica now. And I know Canadians are going to Barbados. The last time when we went to Barbados a few months ago, the plane was full, and it was one of those like mega plane. I was surprised to see a plane that big going to Barbados, and it was full on the way to Barbados. So this is a big deal for the Caribbean. And I did a video recently talking about how Canada was, after World War II, Canada was the Caribbean's biggest trading partner. And it seemed like if we continue with this in Canada, and the Caribbean, CARICOM is serious about working together and diversifying trade, Canada could step up again as one of the CARICOM's biggest trading partner. And another impact that this trade war is having, this America against the world trade war, is that a lot of Americans are leaving America now to live in other countries. A lot of Americans are going to Europe. A lot of Americans are retiring in the Caribbean, in Latin America. But Canada seem to be the number 1 spot, and a lot of Americans are coming across the border.
Do you want to move to Canada? Because I do, and I am.
I just moved to Toronto, Canada, from Raleigh, North Carolina.
My Canadian immigration process starts in about a week.
We can finally say it. We can finally talk about it. We are moving to Canada.
Okay, so that was it. Americans coming into Canada in crazy numbers. America is going to be empty if Donald Trump stays for 4 years. I believe that with all the deportation and with all the people that say, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this, America is going to be empty. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think about the Canadian boycott, and that this seemed to be benefiting the Caribbean In particular, as I said, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica, Barbados, Bahamas, the numbers are going up in those Caribbean islands because over 20 million people from Canada travel in 2024, and the numbers are way down going to America. So the Caribbean is picking up the numbers that refuse to go to America. So sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.